Hello again. Welcome back to another episode of what I am now calling Talking About Indies. Because I can't justifiably call these reviews. Because I'm not going to necessarily review these books. These are books that I've decided to buy, I've decided to support, and in all good faith, I can't really bring myself to a journalistic integrity and call these reviews since I already like what I got, right? And I'm biased towards it. So, I'm not the type of person that's going to tell you or going to critique the artwork, all that kind of stuff. I'll comment on it, but that's about it. So, what do we got here? Well, we got Nyobi. Now, Nyobi is a passion project of a good buddy of mine named Larry Higgins. Yeah, we're both named Larry. Now, I met Larry Higgins at a convention a few years ago, and, we've been pretty good friends, and he made this, ever since then, and he made this really cool comic. And he sort of got me into the whole independent comic scene as of late, because, I don't want to say if he can do it, I can do it, or whatever, but it's not just him, but, there have been other influential people. There's like Ethan Van Sciver and stuff like that really got me going into this whole thing, but Larry Higgins has been just like the best for helping me along in the process of my own book. But we're not here to talk about me yet. We're here to talk about Larry Higgins' book, Nyobi. Now, like I said, it's a passion project. If I were to describe it to somebody really quickly, I would say it's sort of like X-Men, like classic X-Men. And, there's definitely comparisons. You got these, superpowered humans that are genetically, born with genetic powers, basically. Sort of like X-Men. I think they're called I don't want to butcher it, but I know it's in one of the books here. So they're born with superpowers, and of course, in turn, there are people that are bad who are born with superpowers. So Nyobi is, like a 23-year-old Asian American, and she's recruited by the government as one of their sanctioned heroes, if you will, and she's also a pop star. Now, this has nothing to do on the first page, so I'm going to flick into another page because I don't want to ruin the story in this first book because it has to deal with, I'll just say it deals with a fan dealing with some depression issues, and there's a weird sort of like ghostial being making him even more depressed, and Nyobi eventually has to save him. And I can't really show much from this first issue because of spoilers, and I don't want to spoil it. I really think you should go out and try to get a copy of it if you still can. I'm not sure if he's still printing them or not. But it's definitely the way to go. And here's Nyobi's bio. She is, in fact, 23 years old, born in 1992. Which I guess she would have been 23 when this book was put out, which I think was, 2015, if I'm not mistaken? Maybe 2014? So it's been out for a little while. She has teleportation powers, as I said, so she can create portals which she can hop through. That's her power. She also has vulnerabilities. She gets tired from doing the hopping, and it fatigues her and stuff like that. Anyway, there's some really cool artwork here at the back from different creators. This one right here I recognize quite well. It's done by Andre Bouliard. Or Boulier. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Andre. I'm really bad with pronouncing names. He's done some artwork for me recently on my book, and I love his style. Now, I didn't mention the artwork in the book. I'm going to go to second page, because I think that's a really cool. This is by David Coates. David Coates has also done some artwork for me, and he's an amazing artist. He is working on another book, which I'll talk about later, from another person I know, and that'll be the next episode. But for now, we're just going to admire David's lovely art. Now, it's obviously a black and white comic, except for the covers. Printing is very expensive up here. There's the back cover, that's pretty cool. So I completely understand. To get color copies done is ridiculously expensive in Canada. And I know Larry Higgins is always looking for ways to improve on that. But anyway, this book won't stay open because I've had it folded too long. I don't want to bend the pages either. So here's issue 2. I think I can show you a little bit more from this because I want to talk about the artwork. Here's a beautiful cover by R.B. White. But the artist changes in this issue and remains to be Steve Boulier, who is I want to say, just looking at his style, it kind of reminds me more of like a heavy metal style, which really fits this book well, I think, because Larry's really into the sexy sort of characters, and I think it fits really well into this universe. Don't want to show too much, but here's one of the villain characters. This is Ivani, and I'm doing some stuff with Ivani here through my other love and passion photography here pretty soon for Larry. I've done a few Nyobi shoots in the past for him. But anyway, why am I talking about this book? Well, it's really good. It's a really fun series. I want to flick to a really cool action page here, just to show you what Steve does. Like, these panels are, the panel layout is so good. I love the way he does his action scenes. So yeah, I am going to gush on the art. I don't think it's bad or anything like that. I think it's fantastic. It's super stylized, but that's not a bad thing. I think his panel layout and his action scenes, his facial expressions, like, oh man, like, I wish I could draw this good. It would make things go a lot smoother for me right now. Anyway, I really believe in this project. This is issue 3. I don't have the actual cover. I have the East Coast Comic Expo exclusive blank cover, which is cool. I think this is the actual cover here. Yeah, now there's a really cool cover. That's another R.B. White. Real sexy pose and stuff like that. Yeah, I want to show you a page in here, and this is where we're going to end it before I talk about, just back in the comic. Where was that? He has an action scene in here. Steve and Larry set up an action scene in here, and there is no dialogue, and it is super cool. The way it's just laid out, and it's something you can really only do in movies and comics. Here we go. There's like no dialogue in these scenes. It's just pure action. This page, yeah. This 2-page spread here, this is incredible. You know exactly what's going on. The panel layout is fantastic, and there's no dialogue. It's all visual. I love it. This is what comics are for. And look at how cool this is. Some people might not like the style. That's their preference. I friggin' love it. Anyway, so what was I going to say about this? Well, I really think you should back this project. He's about to start a new campaign for his villain book, Ivani, and if I bring up issue 2 here for a second, it's Rebel Comics. That's what his logo looks like. So if you Google Rebel Comics, which is Rebel and then Komix Comics, it's a weird spelling. He's on YouTube, he's on Facebook, he's on Twitter, he's on everything, and he's a social media maniac right now. And Nyobi will have new issues later on, and I really think you should check out this universe. It's going to be super cool once he gets going. I believe Steve Boulier is doing the interiors for most of his other books. He's got new cover designs out that he's been showing around. Yeah, definitely check this stuff out. It's super cool. Nyobi is going to blow up. I really believe it will. Especially with everything going right now with Comicsgate and stuff like that. I definitely think these books will blow up eventually. And they should. They're excellent. They're really well written. They're good, fun comic books, the way they should be. And that's really all I got to say today. So I'll see you in the next episode. And thank you for watching.